I want to talk about one of the things I see as the most common challenges in B2B SaaS companies, which is how to take products to market or how to launch products, specifically how to update new product capabilities to market. So a lot of companies have built product, perhaps even have successfully initially launched it, but then they can't get communications out the door that are clear, concise, and compelling about what's new in the product, new innovations, etc. This is a huge missed opportunity since all those development resources, the time, money, energy, etc., that went into building those new capabilities are squandered if nobody knows about it. This happens for three reasons. One is a lack of a product release process. A second is a lack of a clear product taxonomy. And the third is speaking to features, not outcomes. So let's take a look at each of these in a little bit more detail. Typically, most companies are not great at bringing new product capabilities to market since no process exists. Development releases something and no one is there to communicate it out. So in a lot of little startup companies or smaller companies, no product management or product marketing function exists, or in larger companies where it may exist, product management and product marketing do exist, but then things break down through internal efficiencies. I once had a client whose product management team would communicate out what was new, but the customer success and account management team would spend a lot of time trying to take what was communicated and repackage it up for customers, spending a lot of time doing so while inaccurately communicating what the new capabilities actually did. This was a big piece because product marketing function did not exist. This resulted in a huge amount of inefficiencies internally and lack of understanding with the customers and what was actually new, driving down customer satisfaction, increasing churn as well. It's best to establish a launch process from a point of development, completing their work all the way directly to the customer. So ensuring there's clear handoff from whoever is responsible for product development, so typically the development team, or in a lot of companies, product management, to whoever is responsible for building assets and communications to customers. So usually that's product marketing. Product management needs to communicate what capabilities and features are new and why customers should care about them. Product marketing then needs to turn that into value-driven messaging, not just features and functions, but the value. Why should customers ultimately care, and do it in a way that's memorable for customers and easy for them to understand. It's also important for product marketing to alleviate the workload of the customer success or account management teams by creating materials for them that accurately and clearly allow them to communicate to customers what's new. Product marketing should also enable the customer success team, sales, and others on what is new. Having established documents that capture all these handoffs from team to team is critical. Also critical is a cross-functional team that's responsible for product launches. They ensure that the work actually gets done and each department in the organization is kept up to speed on what is new in the launch. Another reason why product launches often fail is the lack of a clear language to communicate exactly what is being launched. One scenario that I often see is where new capabilities escape development. So we've all seen this, right? So development just kind of gives something a code name and then releases it, right? It either doesn't make it to the customer or it makes it to them and nobody understands what it is, since the engineering team's code name, meant for internal use only originally, is then used externally. So no one really knows what it is. I once had a client who had the capability in a market and brought to market with that exact scenario where they released something with a code name. No one questioned what it was called. It just was called that. And it turns out that the name was a code name given by the engineer in the organization, one single person, before anything in marketing had existed to release that. So customers didn't really understand why it had that name, and it was unclear to new prospects what it was, causing a lot of confusion. So having a clear product taxonomy, including what your products, services, and partners provide, including in the product what the capabilities are and features, is really critical. Having names for each that customers understand is also critical. With the taxonomy, you're able to unpack what the product is clearly, and it also gives product management and product marketing a framework to align on when something new comes out, where it belongs in the taxonomy. So there's no discussion, is it a new product, new feature, etc. They know exactly what it is. So they can agree on that. and then ultimately bring it to market. The same thing happens with services as well as partnership capabilities. We should understand what our service offerings are and service lines underneath that. Another big reason why product launches don't work out is the company is set on focusing on features and functions and not business value. Even if you do have the best product taxonomy, which we just went over, you don't want to lead with that. Rather, it's important to instead focus on what the customer would be, what the benefit would be for the customer. For example, a client of mine had a B2B product that helped retailers manage subscription services of their product. They would focus on setting up subscriptions for their products on different websites, retail sites. But the real pain point customers cared about was how to remove friction from the consumer experience and drive reoccurring revenue, which is a common challenge for many retailers. So we led with the actual business value first, and then unpack the capability and features offered by the subscriptions. Rather than saying, buy our subscription product, we said, hey, let's remove the friction, focus on reoccurring revenue. As you move forward, keep these principles in mind that we're talking about. Have that product launch process in place. Categorize your products in a clear taxonomy, as well as your services and partnerships, and always speak in a language that's clear to your customers, starting with business value. So ask yourself how each of these things can bring you closer to your goals of revenue growth, brand strength, and a high-performing marketing team. And remember, effective communication is not just about conveying information, it's about building relationships and fostering trust. When your customers understand and believe in your product's capabilities, they're more likely to become loyal advocates. So take a moment, assess your current launch strategies, identify the gaps, address the challenges, and implement these actionable steps. Your growth and success depends on it. Let's turn those capabilities into clear, compelling stories that resonate with your audience and drive your company forward.